Here's what we're gonna play today. Take a guess. Don't look at the thumbnail. Don't look at the name of the video. You should know it by yesterday's video. If you don't, you're not a real one. I'm sorry, you're not a real one if you don't know it. But we are playing Golgari Broodscale because Young Dingo is just shredding throughout the queues with it. And I want to play Sephiroth in more decks. And I actually wanted to give Broodscale Collect Command and Flashbreaker to flip Sephiroth easily. It has the classic Broodscale combo with Broodscale, Blade of the Blood Chief. Our payoffs for the infinite mana, infinite things, Flashbreaker and Collect Command cards that also work with Sephiroth. Sephiroth also another way of killing our opponent with the Broodscale combo. And around that, the entire shell that surrounds it, because there's actually not too many spots left. Halfling, good mana dog for this deck, and Sephiroth uncounterable, which is a nice side effect. Ancient Stirrings, because it finds pretty much the entire deck except for Sephiroth, Rumble, Halfling, and other Stirrings. And some more silver bullets for our Boros Saga. We have a Haywire Might, a Soulgate Lantern, a Springleaf Drum, and a Vexing Bauble. And on top of that, the last two cards are two Emrakul Promised End, because we are an Eldrazi deck that can generate loads of mana, that sometimes just has an immense amount of card types in the graveyard. Not playing Emrakul in most Eldrazi decks is just a waste, because sometimes she is just a free win. So let's look at our sideboard. There's two Damping Sphere against maybe big mana, and against Storm as Thief of Existence, and Nature's Claim as removal for non-creature threats, Gravedigger's Cage and Pissing Needle as other targets for our Urza Saga, some removal in form of Dismember and Fatal Push, and some Discard Spell with 3 Sword Seizures. List looks super clean. Not sure if 4 Sephiroth might be too many because he is still legendary. And honestly, I'm kind of hoping 4 Sephiroth might be too many because I don't want to buy 4 Sephiroth because he's fucking expensive. Anyway, let's head right into the games and let's see if Golgari Broodscale might be the way to... Ha! Psych! You thought we were jumping right into the games. No. Leave a comment, subscribe, tell me what I should play next, all this good stuff. This deck is also a deck that somebody of you wanted me to play. I wanted to play it as well, so I'm gonna do it. Like, I'm not gonna play any garbage I don't want to play. But if you have a list you're interested in seeing, or you maybe want to see a deck I've played again, played again, an updated list or something like that, let me know, leave a comment. Please leave a like and subscribe, it really helps a lot. I want to grow this channel to the point where I don't have to waste my own play points playing garbage decks. I hope this deck won't be wasting play points, but you never know, I have no idea. If you like lists and stuff like this, I give a shout out to the original creator of the list all the time in the videos. Like, this list is from Young Dingo, but if you shared my video to share the list, it would be really nice, because it would mean that more people get to see this great content. Anyway, on to the game, on to match number 1, and let's see how many Sephiroth flips we get. We've played Sephiroth in loads of different decks. Now it's time for maybe the best shell for it. Young Dingo's Golgari Broodscale list. We do have Kozilek's Command, Sephiroth, we can grab stuff, and we had Malevolent Rumble to dig through things. I think this is a keep. Let's start with the waste and so run out the Haywire Might. Don't really want to play the Saga on turn 1 and have it die so early. Opponent is on some sort of Eldrazi list, probably. In hey, this Haywire Might will have some value. Question now is, do we play the Saga already? It's probably best to just get rid of the Topia Sprawl. Let's play the Cavern on Eldrazi. Hit our opponent for 1. And apparently, we're playing against a local friend of mine. I did not know that this... now let's play the Saga. We can start grabbing things eventually, and let's just lead off with Sephiroth. Our opponent currently only has access to Kozilek's Return, which Sephiroth will survive, or Kozilek's Command X2 hopefully, unless they have a Soul Land. So Sephiroth will hopefully also survive that. There's only tap land, perfect for us. But they do mill a Kozilek's Return and another Talisman. We have access to big Emrakul. Let's just lead with a Malevolent Rumble to dig for something, create a token that we can sacrifice with Sephiroth, draw a card. And I don't mind grabbing this Lantern to get rid of the Kozilek's Return. Also allows us to draw another card. Let's attack with Sephiroth. Sacrifice our spawn to drain them some more, draw another card. A Halfling. Should have tapped the Saga, so we could have played the Halfling. That was a mistake on my part. Forgot that we could draw other 1-drops that we can play, because I was just banking on sacrificing the Lantern to draw a card. Opponent gets rid of Sephiroth and create some tokens. So they're trying to go off
next turn with something bigger. They could have access to Emrakul next turn, so maybe we should actually just exile the grave with a Soulguide Lantern. If you don't hate that, let's just do that. Makes it even more of a mistake to tap the Llanowar Waste for the Lantern earlier, but that way they can't play Emrakul next turn as freely. Let's float a mana right here. Grab a blade. Run out Sephiroth. Possibly. Yeah, I should have shocked in the Overgrown Tombs alive. It doesn't really matter too much, and equip the Halfling with the blade. So that if they sacrifice a token, our Halfling would also become a threat. They have access to 9 mana, so they could be something like a Devourer to get rid of our next Sephiroth, which would be annoying. So we currently don't have access to too much mana. Next turn we're able to just dig with our Kozilek command. There's 11 mana. Looks like a 7-drop, so probably just a Devourer. Null Drifter, okay, I don't mind that too much. It's only the 4 mana and no red mana at their disposal. I'm not really scared of anything right now. I'm just hoping that our next turn will be able to pop off Temple so we can equip us. Do I equip Halfling or do I equip Sephiroth? I think I actually go and equip the Halfling. And we make some token Scry and Draw to look for a combo. Almost made our opponent do all that. Don't really want any of those right now. There's Broodscale on the next turn, we're able to combo and play Emrakul. Take with the Halfling because we can just make it big enough that their Null Drifter doesn't do anything. And if they block with something, we get to flip the Sephiroth. It just takes a hit. I think I'll just keep it as it is because next turn we can go off with a Broodscale. Yeah, there's loads of punts right now, still have to get used to this deck. Should have kept open green mana and equipped the Sephiroth using the Halfling, so we could have attacked with Sephiroth to draw a card right here, and we could have just comboed off. You might be able to tell that this is my first time playing the deck, but I didn't want to waste any time. Opponent grabs a Sire of 7 Death. If they run that out, I'm fine with that, because we do have lethal next turn with the Broodscale. There is 7 mana. Just the Sire, I don't mind. They do have enough mana open to potentially get rid of our Broodscale. That's also okay, because we will... Oh, okay, or we just draw a second Broodscale. That's... definitely works. Now we're just able to combo. Perfect. With all these spawns and so on, we are safe. Punted a lot, still found the win. Okay, on to sideboarding. Against Eldrazi, I'll bring in the Damping Spheres for obvious reasons to stop their soul lands, because they have way more than we do. We only have the temples. Oh no. Yeah, we'll bring in the 2 Damping Sphere to stop their soul lands, because we only have the Eldrazi temples. They also have the Ugin's Labyrinth. Also bring in a Nature's Claim to get rid of various things. Maybe they have in the sideboard something to stop our creatures from using activated abilities. Probably they don't, but you never know. And it also just de-ramps them with their Talisman and their Topia Sprawls. And we're shaving the Bauble because it's by far the most useful with a Saga target. And I'm also trimming 1 Halfling and 1 Sephiroth, because I don't really want to get rid of the heavy hitters of the deck. So let's run it like this and see where it goes. Well, this hand has 2 Ancient Stirrings and a Malevolent Rumble to dig for things, so I think it is a keep, because we already have 1/2 of the combo with the Blade in hand and the Saga to dig for another. Absolutely no spectacular hand, but it is a hand filled with magic cards, so let's just Pet Shock for an Ancient Stirrings and see if we can find something important right now. And there is a Broodscale. Definitely like to see that. So our combo is already together, we just have to find a payoff for it. There's a Labyrinth for our opponent, and they draw 2 cards with a Null Drifter. Refilling their hand immediately. I also just realized that I'm not sure if Emrakul is really that good against their deck, because to be fair, they don't really have too much we can mess with when we play Emrakul. Pretty much all the cards played to the board just exist and do their thing. So maybe we can also shape Emrakul for the next match and bring in something like the Thief of Existence to have more interaction with the artifacts and enchantments. Could run out the Broodscale right now to hopefully go for it next turn and just kill them. But if they have a Kozilek's command, they just get rid of our Broodscale. So we could also run out the Malevolent Rumble. We could play Stirrings and deploy the Blade. I think I like looking for something with the Rumble and playing the Blade right now. They are the Flash Breakers. We are able to use infinite mana next turn. So let's just keep our spawn here, so we are able to use it next turn potentially. There's no need to run out the Blade right now. Won't play the Talisman. So they do have Kozilek's Return at their disposal right now. And they tap out for Magus of the Moon. That's actually totally fine because we have our forest. Don't really mind that right now. Let's just run out the first Broodscale and run out the blade. We have 1 mana too little to combo right here. But we're basically showing our opponent, if you don't have anything, you are dead. They have Malevolent Rumble, and if they go for Kozilek's Return, which is their only way of really attacking right now, because they don't have the colorless mana to play Kozilek's Command, they get rid of their own Magos and we still combo them next turn. Opponent grabs another Eldrazi Temple. There is 3 mana for potential return, and with the spawn they also do have the mana for Kozilek's Command. They could exile our Broodscale, but we have the backup Broodscale, so once again we should be fine. Opponent gets rid of the Broodscale immediately, next to spawns, so now they don't have the mana to do anything except if they have a Dismember. Which would suck, would be annoying, but if they don't have it, we have the win. So let's go off and just yeet to all of our triggers so we can make our token and stuff. Always yes. We're just going off, making infinite mana, then we're playing the Flashbreaker to deal infinite damage as well. Let's run out the Flashbreaker to show our opponent we have the kill. Nice. That's a good deck. On to the next match. Match number 2, we won another die roll, which is pretty sweet. Unfortunately, our hand has no colored mana, so we're not able to keep this. Let's mulligan. If there was a second land, it would have been great. Now this hand is a little risky, but I still think it's a keep with our Ancient Stirrings just looking for a land. Let's start off with a halfling, so if we draw a land, we're just able to use the ramp. If we don't draw one, we can Ancient Stirrings for one and play the Blade of the Bloodchief next turn. Another Eldrazi deck. Okay, we don't draw land, so let's just use the Ancient Stirrings, look for one. Not being able to grab the Broodscale is kind of sad, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Grab a Temple, I'd say, and run out the Blade. We'll also just go and equip the Halfling, because I don't really think the 1 damage will matter, but having an equipped Halfling will make Malevolent Rumbles for us better, for them worse, and also Kozilek's Command if they don't get rid of the Halfling. Then Ubin's Lab. We could run out the Malevolent Rumble and dig deeper, or we could play out Sephiroth. Let's start digging with the Rumble. Opponent gets rid of our Halfling. Kind of annoying, but still okay. Don't have anything to sacrifice, not like I would have wanted to sacrifice it. Opponent is up to 7 mana, so if they have a Devourer, they're able to get rid of our Sephiroth, which would be really annoying. Early Sephiroth still gets to deal some damage. There's a Sowing Myco spawn getting rid of our land. That's also annoying. That's our only colored source. Draw another Boseiju. That's interesting. Let's play the Boseiju. We could equip our Sephiroth. We could. Then we can't make a construct. Make a construct, attack and draw a card. We could just stay back. I wish I just had 1 more mana to equip Sephiroth and make a construct to attack and sacrifice. That would have been rad. Opponent has a land drop next turn, they're able to play the Sigh of 7 Death and we won't be able to attack anymore. Not like we're really gonna win by attacking anyway. So I think I'll just pass a turn and make a construct. So we have something to sacrifice if you don't draw anything next turn. And we're able to put 2 blades on him so that if they use the spawn next turn, which they probably won't. They dig in for land, so maybe they're not going to play the Sire now. There's a Kozilek's Command that's able to get rid of our Sephiroth, so that's annoying. No attacks from our opponent. So let's just make a construct. This Kozilek's Command would probably wreck us. Nothing important we can play, so let's just make another one. I'm just going to grab a Haywire Mite to have just another creature on board. Still equip Sephiroth, so they have to get rid of it. This is not looking too good for us. Hope that we get to attack and draw a card. We actually get to. Sweet. Let's just sacrifice the Haywire Mite. Draw a card. It is just a land. They're not just gonna use the Kozilek Command to get rid of this Sephiroth. They take the trade. They block with all of those. Sephiroth gets to flip. We get to make our emblem. What? Do they just let Sephiroth flip like this? No, there is a command before the construct gets to trade with the Myco spawn. No, they scry and make more tokens, so Sephiroth gets to flip it. So we get our emblem. So we have a win condition deployed. It's just shit ton of spawns and just dealing damage to our opponent that way. Win condition is live. The construct ends the Sowing Myco spawn trade. Sephiroth gets to trigger twice. It growing doesn't really matter, but we have our emblem. All their spawn tokens now will deal damage to them. So our Emrakul now actually really does end something, because we're able to sacrifice all their stuff to deal the damage. And we are also exactly able to play Emrakul next turn. Because we have 7 card types, 4 mana, 5 mana, 6 mana. There is hope suddenly. I did not expect it to pan out this way, but I do gladly appreciate it. They have Emrakul now. What happens if they cast Emrakul? I honestly don't know. What happens when they play Emrakul to take control of themselves? I still think I get control of them, right? I mean, they are able to just use Sephiroth and run it into Emrakul so we don't get anything off of it. But still, every creature dying is a Blood Artist trigger because of our emblem, so I want to see what they have to do right now. With us not being able to combo anything too much and sacrifice our own things right here. Don't really hate our position. They get to attack with Sephiroth. They shouldn't sacrifice the construct because otherwise we draw a card, which could be demise for them. They just trade away the Sephiroth with their Emrakul, so they get rid of Sephiroth, but we still have our emblem. And then we can still equip our construct with the blade, take control of them with Emrakul. If we draw another land, they even play a land. They want to see what happens if they play Emrakul. They are going deep. I want to see what happens too. I just want to know. I honestly have no idea. Really want to know what happens right now. We'll see. Do I have control of them? I just have my normal turn now. So Emrakul didn't do anything basically. And during that player's next turn. So this is still just the extra turn of their Emrakul we're in. So it's just our extra turn. And we even draw another land to play our Sephiroth, which is really nice. Let's sacrifice the construct. I did not expect to draw a Flashbreaker. Equip our Emrakul, should have done that before, so our Emrakul would have been bigger than theirs, but now let's see who gets control during the extra turn right here. I could attack and trade with the Emrakul, but I don't think I want to. If they have another Emrakul, they can take control back. Trade. I think I just attack because if I get control of it and I sacrifice their spawns, they die to that. So I should not have equipped with a blade, but what's all those triggers? Auto sideboarding. So let's just do the same thing again, even though last match I realized that Emrakul maybe isn't as good, but still think it's a decent big thing, even if it's just there to body check their Emrakul. So let's run it like this, bring in the Damping Spheres, bring in the Nature's Claim, shave the edges, take out the Vexing Bauble, and let's see if we can win again. Game number 2, we do have the combo, we have a turn 1 halfling, and we can dig for another land with Agent Styrics again. So I think this is a keep once again. Let's lead with the halfling. Opponent grabs a Surveillance and keeps the card on top. And they're on a Talisman. They are ramping, but they are tapped out. So we could play Broodscale and a Blade to combo next turn. Could also go for some more setup by playing another halfling, Blade and a Stirrings. If we go for a Kozilek's command at end of turn to make them think we don't have anything scary, and we find a land and make a token, we are able to combo next turn because we can use these two to play the Broodscale, this to play the Blade, the new land to equip the Blade, and then we can play the Broodscale, but we don't have anything to actually capitalize off of our mana, because we also don't have any color mana left after that. I think I like setting up some more, even though it's soft to Kozilek return. We're playing another halfling and the Blade. There's a second Broodscale, it's also pretty nice. Makes them shoot it immediately though, but if they don't have it, they just die. Another land drop. That is dangerous for them. I think I'll take the second Broodscale. I think I'll just run out the Broodscale this way. So we do have a backup Broodscale if one grabs the Sanctum of Ugin with their Stirrings. What interaction do they have? It's a return. It is a return. Kind of glad we do have our backup stuff. Stamping Sphere actually does nothing. Now we'll play the Halfling and the Blade. Could have also played a Haywire Might to Stone Rain them, because they did just grab a normal land and they don't have a soul land right here. And just got rid of the Talisman, Stone Rain them. Also wouldn't have been too bad, I think. Both of us are just looking for some mana sources, I think. Won't place another Talisman. Yeah, I don't really think Damping Sphere is really for that matchup. It's probably just for Storm and things like that. They bolt our Halfling. Okay. We do find a land. I already used those removals. I think I'll just run out the Broodscale and try to brute force it. Equipping it already. that if they don't have any more interaction, we just win next turn, because we have the Kozilek's command that's our pair for the infinite mana. Don't have something for 5 mana. Is it another Kozilek's command? It is. That's annoying. We're also already 2 Broodscales down. Flashbreaker is pretty good, but doesn't really do too much right now. But still just go for it and set up for some more mana next turn. We don't have enough colorless mana to play Kozilek's command as it is, but as Flashbreaker sticks around, it is really dangerous. Another land. Let's make sure we have black mana if they have. They'll use this turn to set up even further with more spawns. And so we won't be able to command right now. I am banking on our opponent not having something big to trigger the Kozilek's return right here, which might be too greedy, but they didn't play anything last turn to get rid of the Flashbreaker, so they would have to top deck it, I think. Now we can just attack them with a Flashbreaker. Now Flashbreaker now is an actual threat with all the spawns right here being sacrificed to grow it. And if they don't get rid of it next turn, together with the Kozilek's command, we might be able to kill them. Looks like they have something right here. It's just the biggest command. If it is, we are in trouble. It is, and it even grabs them something big. Just make all the token, grab something off of the Sanctum, so we're probably just done though. They grab an Emrakul, so they are able to just cast that and do whatever they want. They're able to get rid of our blade with the Hebermite, so I think there's no real point of going any further with this game. Let's just pack it up and go for the next game. I think this showed that Damping Sphere is not the optimal route. Bring in the Sephiroth Existence instead. I think I also try something different with the Emrakuls, because I don't really think they do too much for us. They were funny game 1, but I'll just bring in the 4 Sephiroth again and 1 Swordseize to have some more hand disruption, because I don't really think I want to shave anything else. Let's run it like this and go for game 3. So game 3 we are on the play. This hand looks pretty nice actually. Let's just keep it. We just lead with a blade, and turn 2 we can play a variety of things. We could play the Sephiroth Existence to get rid of something like an Utopia Sprawl if they play a turn 1. We can play a Flashbreaker to set up for the combo the turn after. Could just play the Broodscale, but I think that's probably too greedy. Like, I expect something to happen that we just play the blade now. Next turn we play the Temple, play the Sephiroth Existence, get rid of a ramp piece, and then the turn after we play the Broodscale and combo. Expect it to go something like this. Also wishful thinking, but you gotta hope. Opponent appears to have some connection issues. They just disconnected from the match. Let's hope they come back. They are back. Okay, let's see if they get to keep the hand. Opponent mulligan to 6. They appear to have fixed their connection issues, which is nice. Let's lead off with a blade and pass the turn. Opponent doesn't have a turn 1 ramp piece. I'll play the Flashbreaker, but looks like they have a Sprawl. So the Thief of Existence will be pretty nice. Getting rid of our opponent's Utopia Sprawl. Already like that guy more than Damping Sphere. Opponent plays an Ugin's Labyrinth without imprinting anything into it, and there's the Talisman into an Ancient Stirrings. We find a second Labyrinth, so then land drop for the next turn is secured. We unfortunately don't have another land drop. Let's just look for another land with this Rumble right here. That's looking good. Let's grab the waste, lay it to Rum. Play a second blade and attack our opponent with a Sephiroth Existence. Next turn we are able to combo. Opponent has to worry about not tapping out. Opponent plays a Labyrinth. That's to be expected. Still don't have anything to imprint to it. Other basically just has to keep Kozilek's return up. Otherwise they just die next turn. Opponent taps out for Microspawn, so they like to live dangerously. This means they either have Dismember, which would be annoying, or they don't and they lose. So let's just go for it. I'm banking on our opponent not having it. Equip the Broodscale. Always yes, always yield to the Broodscale. Is there a Dismember? Doesn't look like it. No. Let's make some more. Let's equip the Broodscale again to make the mana and token even faster. The optimization on Magic Online, if you get to yield to everything, actually feels really nice, gotta say that, for just a single time. And now we just kill them by making all the spawn tokens and dealing the damage with a Flashbreaker. GG opponent, GG. And we can even combo instant speed in response to anything now. So if they forgot to use something before, wouldn't matter. It is just infinite damage, infinite mana, and an infinite amount of infinitely big creatures. So we are going uber infinite right here. And we'll see each other in the next match. I'll just go through the last clicks because our opponent doesn't want to surrender to it. Okay, they do. On to the next match. Match number 3. We won another die roll, so let's go first. And this hand is not perfect, but I do like also finding something useful with the Ancient Stirring, so I will be greedy. This hand I think probably should be a mull, but you guys know me. I am greedy, so let's start with an Overgrown Tomb. Run out the first blade just for good measure, because we maybe find something next turn that can use it immediately. Opponent, another Eldrazi cabinet. This is the mirror. Okay, so let's see who can pull ahead in the mirror. Oh, we have to put our Sephiroth away. But we do find a Haymire Might, that's not too bad. Any order. Let's run out a Saga so we are able to create some construct in the future and have somebody's on the board play the second blade. We are able to interact with our opponent's blade with our Haywire Might at the very least. This league so far has been all Eldrazi Temple decks. That's interesting. And they have a Broodscale. So we have to use our Might to get rid of that. Or we just play Sephiroth and we are greedy. Not even sure if playing Sephiroth actually is greedy. Playing Sephiroth might actually be better. Because if they have a second blade, otherwise they combo us next turn. Or do they play blade or not? They wouldn't be able to combo us, so yeah, let's wait for at least one more turn with our Sephiroth. Because if they have a way of answering Sephiroth, playing Sephiroth would literally just lose us a game. If they have a Cortex command right there, in this Haywire might maybe make them use a mana to equip the blade, and if it doesn't, we just have something to sacrifice to Sephiroth. Won't just attack us, we just take the hit. And they just pass a turn. I think I just use the mana to get rid of the blade while I can. Don't really think I want to make a construct right here. Let's just put some mana. And I'll grab a Springleaf Drum. The drum allows us to play a Malevolent Rumble and run out a Sephiroth as well. Or we just find a Broodscale, so we might be able to combo. We do have 2 blades, so let's go for it. If they have a command, they have a command. And if they don't, we win. Looks like they have a command. Yep. They're gonna make some token and exile our Broodscale. See if they combo us now. Looks like they do. We don't even have a blocker, so let's just scoop it up. But they also did have an answer for our Sephiroth. Sideboarding for the mirror. No time to explain. I just had to grab a bag because Amazon arrived. Let's run it like this. You see what I did. And let's go. So I do like the sand. Let's keep it. We have good interaction against pretty much anything they do. We have the Broodscale at the Saga to grab our blade. Let's just lead with a forest so we can might just claim or dismember something. They just play a Saga. And I accidentally skipped through the turn and didn't kill it. Well, let's do it now, I guess. And run out our own Saga. Still can't dismember. Getting rid of that in their turn and playing the Broodscale right here would have been way better. Yes, you are right about that. But well, can't have everything. Let's just run out our Sephiroth. Opponent, now we know that they are playing the red variant. So they don't have Sephiroth to stop our combo, but we have Sephiroth to stop theirs. Might be good for us. Let's float a mana. Let's grab a blade. And I'll just use the command to get rid of their Broodscale right here. We are just set for the next turn to combo off. To make sure we have enough mana in pretty much any case, I won't sacrifice the spawn right here. So maybe they have a removal for one of those, and we can sacrifice one for dismember if they do something scary, which I doubt they'll do, but hey, you never know. There's a Flashbreaker. Flashbreaker is a scary card, but if that's all they do, we are fine. Let's run out the Broodscale, and we have the combo. GG's. On to match number 3. Now we can explain what we are doing. So we were taking out the Ancient Stirrings, the Halflings, and the Bauble. Could also bring in the Pithing Needle actually, but it's symmetrical, so I don't want to do that, because it also stops us from doing things with our Blade of the Bloodchief. We get rid of the Ancient Stirrings because most of the things we bring in are colored. We bring in the Dismember, we bring in the Fatal Push, we bring in the Nature's Claim. So our density of cards we actually can hit with it is reduced by a decent bit. And we also get rid of one Halfling because we just have to shave something else. We keep all the Sephiroth and so on because they shut off our opponent's combo and they make our combo easier. they also love to just have value to find the combo pieces. So let's run it back like this and go into game number 3. Game number 3, unfortunately our hand has no land, so we mulligan. Our opponent is also mulliganing, so guess we are starting with fair 6-card hands. And this one looks really good. We do have 2 Fatal Push to get rid of pretty much all they can do. Leveled Rumble to dig for something and a Kozilek's Command to dig even deeper. Let's keep it. Opponent also kept 6. And we'll just put one of our lands on the bottom. No, not that one. Cancel. Put Boseju on the bottom, so we have our colored mana and some colorless mana for our Kozilek's Command. Opponent just leads with a Boseju, that's fine. Let's run on the Overgrown Tomb so we are able to push something. Opponent has an Ugin's Labyrinth as well. That's interesting. I don't think I've seen Broodscales have Ugin's Lab before. Because what do they have as targets? They grab a Blade of the Blood Sheaf, okay. I think I'll actually just use a push on the spawn. It might look weird, but it uses our mana. Let's play Malevolent Rumble. We find a Broodscale, that's pretty nice. Okay. Could have also grabbed a land, but I think Broodscale and Blade in our hand mean that we are able to do something at the very least eventually. Opponent has another Rumble. And opponent actually does play Devourer of Destinies. They do Gribble Urza Saga. The thing is that Devourer doesn't really do too much against us because it only exiles colored things. They run out their Blade. We miss a land drop, which is unfortunate. Let's just play the Halfling and stay like this so we have Fatal Push up, and I don't want to sacrifice our spawn right now. Unfortunately, we can't use the waste play the Blade, because then we don't have push ready, and that would be devastating. Let's just pass the turn back. With not too much happening, but if we draw a land, our opponent taps out, we are able to combo next turn. Can play Broodscale, play Blade, and equip if we draw another land while still having the spawn up. Would be huge. Opponent just passing the turn back. I think I'll just keep the Fatal Push ready and we draw land, but I think with them just passing back like that, they probably have some form of interaction. If we just keep it like this and just pass back again, we can Kozilek's Command and Fatal Push. So let's pass it back again. Could play the Blade, so we could still Kozilek's Command X1 and Fatal Push. But I want to make sure we can X2 and Fatal Push. We're both able to make more constructs, more spawns, dig deeper, and answer a second Broodscale if they have one. They grab a Drum and play Haywire Might. Haywire Might being able to answer our Saga might be annoying, but I don't really worry too much about that because we can just get rid of the Might. End of turn to play our Blade and protect it. Soulguide Lantern doesn't really do anything. I think we're looking good right here, especially because our opponent is not playing black. Probably don't really have any interaction. I will just take the hit. So we're able to deal with more things end of turn. Let's get rid of our opponent's Haywire Might. Now they might just get rid of the Saga in response. They do. That's okay. But I think I'll also just use a Fatal Push now so they have less mana ready and they must have the Dismember to do anything against us. It also gets rid of their spawn so they can't combo as easily themselves. Draw another Flash Raker. Let's just go for it. Broodscale. Blade. Equip. And if they have the Dismember, they have the Dismember. They do have the Dismember. Oh, that's annoying. That's really annoying. Oh well. At the very least they are not able to combo us now. Or are they? They do have the Blade to make some more mana, so they are actually able to combo us. But they would also need the payoff. There's the Broodscale. But they attack us so they can't combo this turn. They could have comboed this turn. No, there was one mana missing. For some reason thought there was one more mana. They have a Spatial Contortion as well. You might just die like this. That's annoying. Let's just redraw a card and hope we find something to play at least a Flash Raker next turn. Open. Oh no, we're just dead. And they just equip and make an infinitely large Broodscale. GG's. On to the next match. Match number 4. Opponent is mulliganing. Doesn't have colored sources, but we do have Saga to grab something. And 2 Temple. I will keep it and just hope we draw colored source. I'm greedy, you know me. I'm just one greedy guy. Opponent appears to be on energy most likely. Yes, it is energy. And we just find a colored source. Sometimes it is just that easy. Let's lead with the Eldrazi Temple and pass the turn. There's a Ragavan. Opponent kept the 1 land, so let's punish them for that. Run out the Broodscale, pass the turn. Because they kept the 1 lander, I will block a trade with the Ragavan. If it wasn't a one-lander, it would just take the hit. But with them potentially just not being able to play anything else, there's just an Ocelot Pride. Doesn't really matter too much. We draw even more Broodscales, holy moly. Let's just run out another Broodscale, I guess, and play Sogard Lantern. Get rid of one of the cats. And I don't think they have a 1-mana removal in hand as well, because yeah, they just scoop it up. They would have gotten rid of the Broodscale to connect with Ragavan onto sideboarding, I guess. In Energy, we're shaving some of our more expensive stuff. We're getting rid of an Emrakul, a Flash Raker, and a Sephiroth, bringing in all of our removal, and a Pithing Needle against Bombardment or Ajani. Also shaving the Vexing Bubble because it doesn't do anything. And yet again, because we bring in so much colored cards, we're also shaving the Ancient Stirrings. So let's do it like this, and hope we also win into. I really do like this hand, let's keep it. If Fatal Push against the 1-drop, if they don't have a 1-drop, we just play a Halfling. Flash Breaker and Kozilek's Command are also really good in the matchup. An opponent leads on a Surveillant yet again. I think I'll just lead with a basic Forest actually. Just play the Halfling. Not very worried about any land destruction, but maybe they have a Blood Moon, but with Blood Moon not killing Ozark Saga anymore, it's gotten so much worse. And there is a Bombardment, so they are trying to lock down the board now. We find a Saga. Let's just play the Wastes, play the Blade, and I will equip our Halfling so that if they are trying to get rid of it with small things, it doesn't die. It's funny how bad Bombardment is against Blade of the Bloodchief. Maybe Energy should just play a single Blade of the Bloodchief for the mirror. There is Molten Rain. I was talking about not worrying about land destruction and they just Molten Rain us. That's rude. I think I'll just pass a turn and keep up Kozilek's Command. Could run out Flash Raker or Sephiroth right here. I think I'll just keep up Kozilek's Command for spawn and draw a card most likely. There is a Blood Moon. Actually no need to float the mana, because it still makes colorless mana under the Blood Moon. Opponent does all of the things I was talking about they probably wouldn't do. Scry 1, draw 1 and make 1 token. Another Kozilek's Command. Actually don't hate it. Let's keep another Other Saga. That doesn't produce colorless mana, which will be kind of weird. Let's run out the Flash Breaker now. Oh god, you have to actually choose the colorless mana with the Urza Saga to make it, because otherwise it just makes red mana. That's annoying. And I'll just pass a turn. So we could, if our opponent gets rid of the Flash Breaker now, just command for 0, still draw a card, and make another spawn. That probably wouldn't be worth it. I should have possibly just attacked, but it still is some sort of threat. Molten Rain into Blood Moon. Opponent has a crazy sideboard plan for this matchup. Wrath of the Skies would be really bad now. Wrath of the Skies would just absolutely ruin our day. Ocelot Pride, I don't care. We have 2 more cards left in hand. Ajani. Ajani is annoying, but our Halfling will stand strong against the Bombardments. They are able to deal with our Flash Breaker. And we don't have black mana anymore for our Fatal Pushes, so that's also something to worry about. But we do have black mana to cast Sephiroth, so maybe, just maybe, we are able to do some things. Opponent shoots our spawn? Why? Let's just sacrifice it and grow our Halfling even further. Why don't they shoot the Flash Breaker? That's so weird. Now they make a cat. Now they get rid of the Flash Breaker. They could have shot, like, shoot our Faith or anything like that. Sure, we got rid of the Flash Breaker. Our Halfling is a true menace now. This Halfling here means absolute business. I think I still have to just stay back and wait 1 more turn. Not being able to Kozilek's Command the Ocelot right away, so we are able to attack Ajani and have them sacrifice a warrior is annoying. Because if we do attack them, they can just jump away with the cat and attack us with the Ocelot Pride, which basically would lead to them having infinite blockers for the future, because they have City's Blessing. I can't have them gain life. They pass it back. Another Llanowar Waste. Unfortunately, still no colorless mana. Should have maybe not equipped the Halfling last turn and just played the command against Ocelot Pride at end of turn. Do that now. Then I could have attacked this turn already. And they keep shooting our face with Ajani. We are slowly dying. We are dying faster and faster every turn. Ghost Vacuum doesn't really do anything. Decide to play a land. Do they go in for an attack? No. So now our Kozilek's Command will be really important. I think I'll make some spawns actually instead of drawing, because it means our Halfling will be absolutely unbeatably big, and we can also just equip one of the spawns to grow it as well. They don't even sacrifice the Ocelot because they're afraid of our Halfling growing. Ooh, Pithing Needle, that's a good one. That can just shut off the Ajani. Love it. Let's equip one of the spawns. And I think I'll also just equip another one. And let's play the Needle on Ajani. Ajani Nakatel Avenger. Bombardment does damage to us, but I don't really care too much right now, because it also just grows all of our things. And I'll only attack with the Halfling right here. And if they want to attack us next turn, we can sacrifice Spawn to block. If our Halfling survives, Sephiroth next turn to sacrifice the one spawn that is not equipped, draw a card and find something else. And then their bombardment won't deal damage to us anymore. Do they just crack the Ghost Vacuum only for the one Flesh Raker? That would be so bad. But to be fair, there's no other creatures left right now, because they didn't sacrifice the Ocelot to not grow a Halfling Conqueror. That is annoying. That makes me want to sacrifice a spawn right now, so these tokens at least can trade. And it also has flying. That's really annoying. I wish I hadn't attacked with the Halfling. That was the best card they could have had in this situation, except in Wrath of the Skies would have also just resetted both of us down to nothing. Would have just left them with the Ajani. Can't even use the Halfling for mana. That's annoying. That Conqueror is really good. Let's start beating them down with the Halfling some more. Conqueror together with the Blood Moon is really good. We can't make our colored mana. And we have no real way of getting rid of the Conqueror now as well, because our colorless mana would have been off of our creatures right here. Play a Kozilek's command. This Conqueror will slowly just beat us down. Not even slowly, next turn we are dying because of the bombardment. They just pillage our Pithing Needle, but they can't use Ajani, so that pillage was absolutely worthless. But next turn we are still dead because of the bombardment. They go after us already, they use the okay, now they can Ajani. Kill us with that. Okay, that actually makes sense, yeah. Close one, close one. On to the next game. Them also having Blood Moon makes more to bring in. Just the one Nature's Claim won't bring in Sieve of Existence because they just have too much removal for it. Just the one Nature's Claim to also have an additional answer for the Bombardment and Blood Moons. So let's run it like this. We'll go first, and this hand looks great. Let's keep it. We have a basic, we have a Halfling, and we have a Springleaf Drum to make some more colored mana. Also, our only source of black mana for spells under Blood Moon. That's really important. Next turn we run on the Urza's Saga, that if our opponent plays a Blood Moon a turn later, our Urza's Saga will be able to just pump out constructs, which would just ruin their day. They discharge our Halfling, annoying but fine, and we draw Sephiroth. We run on the Broodscale and pass the turn. Broodscale is exposed to removal, but that's fine. That would mean that they have to use some more removal, so it is what it is. And if they tap out right here, they are living really risky. They Thraben Charm away the Saga. That's annoying. That's annoying. Would have liked to keep that around. Let's play Boseiju, Springleaf Drum, and let's just Pithing Needle Problem Bombardment for the sake of it. And we'll hit our opponent. I have no access to a Blade of the Bloodsheep right now, which is annoying, and we only have black mana with using our Root Dweller. Opponent fetches with Herald Mesa. Do they have a Flage to get rid of the Broodscale? That would be in pretty much worst case. Just an Ajani. Okay, Ajani without bombardment is not too dangerous. And they only have a white mana left. Ocelot Pride, okay. The future will be annoying, but we find a Dismember. That's a good one, that's a good one. Let's just use our Broodscale to make our token. Now the Broodscale is big enough that I think I can just attack with it and dismember something by tapping the spawn. Yeah, let's do that. Kill the cat and get rid of Ajani. Now they do still have the Ocelot Pride right here, but with so little left on the board and bombardment being shut off with the Pithing Needle, don't really worry too much about it right now. Next turn we can play Sephiroth, sacrifice a spawn to draw a card. Just dig in for a Blade right here. Conqueror again. Okay, so we don't have black mana. Don't even have colorless mana. We have black mana. I was lying. I lied. Black mana is here. No opponent, but we don't have colorless mana. I will offer the trade. Our opponent will take it. We're looking for removal of the Conqueror. Even if we get rid of the Conqueror, we don't have any colorless mana. That's so annoying. Colorless being an actual color restriction. One of the downsides of not playing the Red Splash, because we don't play Growth of the Burn Willow as an additional way of having the colored mana, colorless mana, and colored mana. We only have Llanowar Wastes here, don't have both. Two more Ocelot Pride! Our opponent, calm down. Hey, where am I at? Oh, we can't even attack with Sephiroth because they have 3 First Strikers. Just have to stay back. Triple First Strikes. Holy smokes. Just have to sit here and take it. Malevolent Rumble, let's see if we can find something useful. We find a Blade, but we can't use it. I think the Eldrazi Temple actually might be better because it at least allows us to play something. Do I wait another turn to get rid of the Conqueror? I think I have to. And so we're going so low on life. There is City's Blessing. Wonder why they didn't attack with just a single Osler Pride if they know that they get City's Blessing, because I would have made so many token. Let's pick for 3 cards. I want to keep the spawn around and I want to keep a mana up for the Haywire Might, I think. I think I'll just go for exactly 3. Fatal Push is not too bad. Halfling is bad. Cavern of Souls is bad. Do I like Fatal Push enough to keep it? I think I do, because I can attack with Sephiroth and maybe bait them into trading with the Ocelots. I think I do. Let's attack with Sephiroth. Let's sacrifice a spawn. We find a second push and we can even cast both. That's really nice. And they just want to block with everything. Let's push the first Ocelot. And let's push the second one. Now we trade away those creatures and we even flip Sephiroth. Woo! That was clutch. That was clutch. But I think now we are in great shape. This Eldrazi Temple with the Kozilek's command was so important. Holy smokes. Opponent scoops it up. What a match. Game 1 was basically a non-game. The other ones actually were really interesting. On to the last one. Match number 5, and we won another die roll. So luck is also really on our side, and this hand looks great. Let's keep it. Let's just lead with the Temple and the Blade, and pass the turn. Hope our opponent doesn't have any interaction, so we can just go for the Broodscale and combo next turn. Would be great. Not really realistic. There's just a Swordseize. Okay, Swarm Swordseize. They get rid of the Broodscale. Oh, that's annoying. We do have 2 other Saga to grab for, at the very least, some constructs. Let's round the first Saga. One shocks in a Blood Crypt. And they spend with Profane Tutor. What? Is it some sort of coffers deck? Rakdos coffers? What is happening right here? I do have Sephiroth, but I don't really think I want to run out Sephiroth. I think I just want to go for the value of making some construct, because they are also just really big now. Is it Rakdos coffers? I am intrigued. Just makes a construct, pass a turn, and I'll just make another construct. Because I have no idea what our opponent is playing. It might also be deck playing the Necrodominance. Let's just grab a Vexing Bauble, because maybe they play the spell that the Soul Spike. Maybe just shut that off. Let's just go for that, and if they don't, we can still just cycle it, rip the other construct, and just box our opponent for 5. Those are some chunky constructs. Opponent pushes the other construct. Why they don't push the one that's being equipped and that can actually hit them, I don't know. Couldn't tell you. So let's attack them for 4. And they take the hit. That push made no sense, but I take it. And they didn't cast the Profane Tutor because we had the Vexing Bauble. I did not even realize I counter the Profane Tutor like that. I was just thinking of stuff like Soul Spike. The Vexing Bauble actually just was the right call, not just something I was speculating about. Jesus, I am dense. I did the correct line at the very least. Possibly the first correct play I've done this entire league, even though we are 3-1. Opponent may be thinking we are on some 5D shed over there. Of course, we grabbed the Vexing Bauble and the Profane Tutor, but I was just being stupid and lucky that it worked out. So let's play Forest. And I think I want to keep the command up, so I won't make a construct for the additional damage right here. Let's just hit our opponent. There's another Fatal Push. Let's pass a turn. Although if they played something, I might want to get rid of it with a Kozilek's command. Otherwise, I'll just make another construct and stop beating them harder. So, yeah, let's see what you've got, opponent. Just another Rosh's Theater. What's our opponent up to? And they scoop. Okay, I have no idea what they're playing, so let's see what we bought. Boarding against Rakdos stuff. I honestly have no idea what I should bring in. But I think I just shave 2 Ancient Stirrings and bring in 2 Sword Seizes, because they probably have some big things that we can get rid of like this. They maybe have something like Meathook Massacre, which would be really annoying, but I guess we do have Haywire Might as a main deck answer for that. I have no idea what they're doing. Literally no clue, no idea. Let's just run it like this. And let's see if we win without knowing what they're doing, or we're no more for game 3. Well, this hand is a little greedy because it is a 1-lander. We're on the drop, but they have loads of removal for our halflings. But there are thoughts. I will keep it. We are up 1-0. Opponent probably is a really slow deck. I think we can afford to take a couple more drops. Mox Opal? I'm getting more and more confused by the minute. What? Grab the Overgrown Tomb Runner, the halfling. What? Mox Opal? Out of all the cards our opponent could possibly have said, if our opponent was like, I play a card that was on the ban list before, I wouldn't have guessed Mox Opal. No shot. Absolutely no shot I would have guessed Mox Opal right there. Let's run out a Flashbreaker and play another halfling, so I guess we're going really wide. If our opponent has a Toxic Deluge, Would be rough. Would be rough. 3 mana bot wipe would be rough right here. Get rid of a Pithing Needle. What's our opponent up to? Are they a weird Asmo deck and they just had the worst draw imaginable? What's our opponent? If anybody of you has any resemblance of an idea what our opponent is doing, please just leave a comment, let me know, because I have no idea. Find a second Broodscale. I guess we have a backup Broodscale. We'll just run out Sephiroth, number 1. Get rid of one of the halflings, drain our opponent some more. Then let's set our opponent for 2. If they have a board wipe, it's not too bad. Like, we have a backup Broodscale, and we have another Sephiroth to keep drawing cards. Like, I have no idea what they're doing. Is it just a damnation now? Charmer! Sure! Be my guest opponent! What? Like, honestly, what? And we find another Flash Raker. Okay, so we are going big. We are just going big. Just the Flash Rakers together with the Sephiroth will be absolutely nutty. Opponent scoops it up. They would have just died. What was that? What was that? If anybody of you, I don't know what to call this deck. Like, I always put the description of what deck we're playing against on the bottom. Like, what's this? What is this? But, okay. Let's go to the Afterthoughts and let's talk about what our deck is. Water League, we've played against so many Eldrazi Temple decks. We've played so many Eldrazi Temples ourselves. So let's look at the list again. What was the last deck? I have no idea. You probably know what I've called it now because you can look underneath. I don't know yet. Maybe it will just be a Rakdos garbage or something like this. Anyway, this deck, really good. Like, we see it has a steep learning curve. We started the first match without really knowing what to do, but it still worked out because the combo is really fast and somewhat resilient. Blade of the Blood Chief actually is a decent card against some other matchup. That's what we saw against Boros. So this deck is really great. 4 Sephiroth didn't feel like too many. I'm kinda bummed about that. 4 Sephiroth actually just felt great. Other than the 2 Emrakul, I'm not sure if you need both in the main deck. I think you could potentially have one in the sideboard. But the list just feels really good. Props to Dingo, Really good deck. Sideboard also felt like pretty much every card has a place and spot. Still have to figure out how to use all of those. Like in the beginning, I brought in Damping Sphere against the Eldrazi decks, but it doesn't really do anything there. Probably just against Amulet Titan and Storm decks. Had to learn that the hard way. But deck feels really great, can only recommend it. Will probably play it some more. I've already wondered if I might just pick up the rest of the deck in paper as well. And if that will be my deck for upcoming tournaments. Because I'm kind of tired of energy, not gonna lie. Played energy for just a year now. Done pretty much everything with the deck I could do. And I just want to play something else for now. Maybe at the RT I'll still play energy, but there's still at least one set coming up. Like, there's at least Edge of Eternities coming. I don't know if anything else will come. Is Spider-Man releasing before as well? Is Spider-Man a full release for Modern as well? I have no idea. But this deck is a great option to have. Broodscale, really nice. And I'm not sure if the red-green version is better than the Golgari version. But this version plays Sephiroth. And I do prefer the sideboard of this version, because Thoughts and Fatal Push are a really good sideboard card. But the meta base, which we noticed also against Energy, only having Llanowar Ways as a tri-land, let's call it, does hurt a little. Not having Growth of the Burn Willow as an additional one, like not having the Gain land as well and only having the Pain land, is a pain in the butt. It sometimes hurts you. The mana base is successful to hate. But the deck just felt great. I can only encourage you to try the deck as well. It's fun, it's strong, it's fast, and it has a nice learning curve, so it's also rewarding to play some more. That's everything you want to have. So leave a comment what you want to see next, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a good day!